All right, do it again, and we are back at it. That was the read from Nikki Haley over at the United Nations, promising that if Syria even entertained using chemical weapons again, or the Russians countenanced them using it again, we'd be there and trying to do what exactly we did over the weekend. Retired Lieutenant General Dick Newton on all of this. General, obviously, we promise a follow-up if Assad follows up. But the one thing that's very clear, he did follow up with a conventional attack in the same region in which he launched that chemical attack, feeling that he could, and he did. What did you make of that?
Well, Neil, good afternoon. It's good to be with you again. I think we had a perfectly executed attack last Friday night, and I think, again, we could be very proud of our men and women in uniform who, again, chosen to go into harm's way and to protect this nation in interest of our national security objectives. I believe that there are other options in the Pentagon game plan, like Nikki Haley said at the UN National Security meeting last on Saturday, that we are locked and loaded should Assad decide to engage again. But this was a very successful strike. I think it sends a message not only to Assad, but also to Iran, to Russia, and also to North Korea and other adversaries around the world, that this president and this national security team is committed to protecting our U.S. national security interests.
All right, we draw the line at chemical weapons, right? I mean, if you die by more conventional means, as tens, hundreds of thousands over the course of this war have, that isn't going to promote our as much as using chemical weapons, right?
That's correct. I mean, again, using weapons of mass destruction, such that Assad did against the citizens of Douma. Again, let's also, remind ourselves that the primary mission we have in Syria right now is to defeat ISIS. But there are other aspects of our efforts to not only do just that, but it's also to send signals to other adversaries, specifically to Iran, specifically to Putin and Russia, and again, as I mentioned, to North Korea, right, so that the United States is not going to allow, an evil person such as Assad to use chemical weapons, much less to do, to harm other national security instruments. The other thing I may add also, it's not just the military capabilities that we have. We've got other capabilities, economic, financial and diplomatic tools that we can use to not only stabilize the area, but also to make sure that U.S. national security interests are protected.
General, is it your sense, I mean, we've gotten some mixed messages on how the administration plans to respond with possible sanctions against Russia itself, or we might be holding off, believing that they might make a better effort to rid Syria of these weapons. Hard to tell, but your thoughts?
Hard to tell, but again, Putin made a comment, I believe, or someone, representing him made a comment about the global chaos that ensues from this attack. He's been part of that chaos in Syria and elsewhere. And again, I think the only thing Putin understands is power. And so that's what the president and the national security team demonstrated. And that goes with, again, Iran, as well as Kim Jong-un of North Korea and so forth. That, again, not only with the United States, we will respond, but we will respond with lethal and precise, measures. Again, to go back to the top of our discussion, there are other options in our playbook, right? And that the U.S. is prepared, and we've shown the will, and we've also shown the capability against, Assad using these atrocious weapons of mass destruction, these chemical weapons. But that is a signal that we need to send also to other adversaries who would, tempt fate and try to take on the United States or do harm, particularly with weapons of mass destruction, Neil.
General, thank you very, very much. You've been invaluable steering us through this whole crisis in Syria that seems to have calmed down for the time being.